Hey, D-Man, I am sorry. The cat got here. So I had to help. I had to hear everything that my sister was telling me and get used, yeah, get the instructions for him. And took a little bit longer than I thought it would. Yeah. He is one of 3 siblings that we think mom had. Um, yeah. So I'll be feeding him at 8:30, 12:30. Well, wait. Tonight we'll start feeding at 8:30, 12:30, 4:30, 8:30, 12:30, and 4:30. So, yay. Hey Nature Fam. Guys, I'm sorry. I really messed up the information tonight. Okay. I'm going to say I'm in live started um because I'm late. I apologize. I have the live done. Like, it's about as done as it's gonna get. Um, but it's lacking because of stress. I did pretty good on the Pine Barrens. We'll see how I did on the Hardwood Swamps. No, it started. I get the feeling that I'll. Oh, I almost messed up. Hi, I'm Charlie, and this is the Natureverse 4.7, and you are joining me for my 6 p.m. live. Today's subject is the Pine Barrens and Hardwood Swamps. Most of tonight is probably going to be spent on the Pine Barrens. Maybe. I thought I had way more information. We'll see how it goes. There is a cat sleeping in the next room. So whatever that means. Buckle up for a ride, because this one could be a ride and a half. Well, you'll find out. The most common natural community within the Pine Barrens is the pine oak upland forest. And I mean, granted, that's not the only trees you're going to find there, but that's the dominant species in the Pine Barrens. As with most ecosystems, it is defined by its dominant vegetation. There are some endemic life forms living there. We're going to talk about at least one of them. And not in a lot of detail, but just in passing. This is a vast area that is approximately 1.125 to 1.4 million acres of coastal plain. This is part of a much larger area known as the Atlantic Coastal Pine Barrens. This is one of the best preserved areas in the eastern United States. It is also a very forested region. The soils here are acidic and sandy. Dominant trees are pine and oaks, and if you move into the wetlands, then your dominant tree is going to be cedar. The average temperature here in the winter is 33 degrees Fahrenheit or 0.3 degrees Celsius. In June, one can expect temperatures to be 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 23.8 degrees Celsius. The area has an annual precipitation totaling 44 inches or 1,123 millimeters. The Pine Barrens are located in New Jersey, and is a unique ecosystem home to over 800 species of plants, many of which are threatened or endangered. Plant species include pitch pine, black oak, post oak, scarlet oak, along with huckleberry and blueberry, both of which love the acidic soils. You can also find scrub oak here as well. In the swamps, you might find red maple, black gum, and no, we're not talking about the gum trees from Australia, and Atlantic white cedar. You will also find orchids and carnivorous plants, and that right there tells you something about the soil in that habitat. Poor nutrients. When it comes to animals, you might meet, if you are lucky, the Pine Barrens tree frog, which is endangered, the northern pine snake, which is sort of like a gopher snake if you're from out west. Well, the Jersey devil, I think, is said to come from here, but not an animal that not a cryptid we're gonna be talking about tonight. Timber rattlesnake, though you may not want to meet him. Hognose snake. You might also catch a glimpse of bald eagles, osprey, or red-shouldered hawks, which is, oddly enough, what I have here in my neighborhood. Among the fish that you might catch or see include eastern mud minnow, chain pickerel, and even the American eel. Well, yes. Now we have timber rattlesnakes in the Pine Barrens. You're not going to find, you might find other stuff, but you're further north. So I don't know, but timber rattlesnakes for sure. Now, the simplest bridge connecting the pine barrens and the hardwood swamps follows the concept of transitional ecozones. Remember, we talked about those, the ecotones, in our last live? That's carrying over into this live. As we discussed earlier in our last live, yes. The wetlands and the swamp areas within the pine barrens themselves are hardwood swamps mixed in with some conifers. I don't think cedar is considered a hardwood. There are 3 zones that act as transition points where the acidic sandy soils of the pine barrens give way to more waterlogged conditions. You find a mixture of characteristic species, including Atlantic white cedar, red maple, and black gum, which are listed as being found in the swamps of the pine barrens, but are also common in hardwood swamp environments. Now, we're going to move on to the hardwood swamps. I did not get to cover other hardwood swamps, so I'm covering one from Michigan. But a lot of this, some of the later information is going to cover multiple states. Keep in mind, these swamps can contain different hardwood trees and different animals, all depending upon where these forest swamps exist. Their soils can be neutral to slightly acidic, and when we use the term hardwood, generally speaking, we're talking about deciduous trees like oak or maple or the gum trees that we talked about earlier. These swamps can be found in dried up lake beds, shallow basins, where groundwater seeps up from the ground, low-level terrain near rivers, lakes, or other wetlands that might flood. They often occur in areas with poorly drained soils or areas that have high water tables. Seasonal flooding is the name of the game in these forests. And many of the trees that survive in these habitats are adapted for life in these habitats. These adaptations can include, and I'm going to explain some of these words because they are, if you're not used to the words, they can be a little bit tricky. So the first one is hypertrophied lenticels. And I know what you're thinking. Maybe. What did I just say? Well, basically, lenticels are pores, sort of like you have on your skin, that are located on woody stems that allow them to exchange gases. These hypertrophied lenticels are pores that allow the trees to bypass the roots during flooding. And they basically allow the tree to take in bigger gulps of air, if you want to use that phrase, gulp, so that they don't have to lie on the roots to take in air. Because obviously, if the roots are flooded, they can't take in air. Trees may also have rapid stomoidal closure. Leaves also have pores on their surfaces called stomata. And these can open or close depending upon signals from the tree. Typically, they stay open to allow CO2 to be taken in and for water vapor to be released. However, under stress, the plant can command all of these stomata to close. And when that happens, they're able to keep water from escaping if need be. Another adaptation is advent. You know what? I'm going to post it. And then I will explain it. So, these roots, normal, everyday roots, grow from seeds and they grow downward. Sometimes you might have a central taproot that goes down and then the plant can absorb water that way. But these roots are rogue roots that can sprout in places you wouldn't expect, like stems or branches or even leaves. These roots give them backup when it comes to finding water or nutrients. They can act as an anchor, keeping them from shifting as water comes in and out. Reproductive plasticity simply means reproductive flexibility. If things get chaotic for the tree or there's stressors, the tree can actually delay blooming for as much as a year as a means to save energy. It can also, maybe during a drought, it can rush to flower and produce seeds early so that in case the tree dies, it has at least produced seeds and the next generation can take over. If things have been bad and then suddenly the tree finds itself in a good situation, they can produce maybe extra flowers so that there's more fruit. I'm feeling a little bit stressed, guys. So if you have questions about either subjects, let me know. Because I ran out of time getting things ready. And I apologize for that. Again, depending upon where you live, I would expect that a hardwood swamp in Florida to be different than a hardwood swamp in my area. And we do have hardwood swamps. The Kankakee Game Preserve has hardwood swamps. It also has marshes, and many times that hardwood swamp does flood. You might find trees in floodplains that have these same adaptations. It's pretty darn cool. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper here because some trees We know that trees can have a fungal network that connects them. And so if a tree is being attacked, and an axe hitting a tree would definitely be attacking it, might be signaled by another tree. It might send out a signal to another tree that it's being attacked. We know that if insects are attacking an oak tree, it can send out a message chemically or through the fungal network warning other trees of the attack. So, in Florida, they have hardwood swamps and hammocks. Again, these are trees that are in design are made to withstand standing water. And the trees can include oak, bay, and gum trees. Now, again, we are not talking about eucalyptus. We are talking about native gum trees. Some of these in Florida, you can expect to find laurel oak, which is a different type of oak than what we have up north. Sweet gum, which you've seen the sweet gum seeds that I have. They're little spiky things. Cabbage palm, red maple, swamp bay, and black gum. This is, I think, black gum. I want to say, is black gum? So another name for black gum includes black tulipa, sour gum, and pepper ridge. And they like moist soils, swamps, and woodland edges. We actually have a gum tree in my yard. It has 3 trunks. Puts on a beautiful show for the fall. So I don't know how to explain it, but they get fairly tall. They're a fruiting tree. See if I can find an image. You don't eat typically. Well, you can. I guess you can eat the leaves. Or not the leaves, but the fruits. So this is black gum. And it looks like the species that we have up here, but the leaves don't look right. So those are the unripe fruits. These are the leaves. In the fall, they're going to be bright orange, red, yellow, real pretty, especially if we have an early frost or an early ice storm. Very pretty. The one we have up here, you can actually make a jam out of it or a jelly out of it. The fruits are incredibly sour. I have tried them. There's actually a video up on YouTube of me doing that. Different species scattered throughout the US. Most of them, I think, are in the eastern United States. But very, very beautiful tree. Cabbage palm. Let me show you the laurel oak, because D-Man has probably seen it. I haven't, other than maybe in books. Very different looking plants. They don't have typical oak leaves like we would think. Oh no. They have these are not my photos, by the way, and I don't own them. So that are the leaves of the laurel oak. They're straight, they sort of remind me of maybe a bay leaf, a long skinny bay leaf. And they do produce acorns. Hi, Doctor Who What Where. Welcome back. Let me see if I can find them. Sometimes you'll get leaves that are lobed, like a normal oak would be. I don't have pictures of the acorns. Again, in Florida, you're going to be looking at different plants, different animals that are going to be in there. I would love to. I'd love to see the Pine Barrens. I don't know. I don't know if I've been through them or not. But one animal you might find in the hardwood swamp area might be, because it's a swamp, I would think the possibility of finding eastern eastern diamondbacks, maybe? And D-Man, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You might find cottonmouths, water snakes, maybe alligators, I would think. Raccoons, birds, maybe bears, if you're in the right area. Turtles. I don't know if D-Man in the hardwood swamps. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What animal was I thinking of? What animal was I thinking of? What was I going to say? I forget. Florida panthers, maybe, if you're in the right area. Turtles, maybe. I don't know. Beavers in Florida? I don't know. I mean, I would think so, but I don't know. Dragonflies, yeah. Dragonflies, mosquitoes, capybara. Yes, they are native to Florida. Mostly found in the Florida Panhandle and northern parts of the state. They are Florida's largest rodents, though they are nocturnal and rare to spot. I still remember my very first beaver sighting. It was epic. About as epic as I can get, I think. We were doing a hike at a state park in Illinois, and it was nighttime, and we were pretty close to the river. Evidently, the beavers could hear us, and we heard on the water. I don't know if the other guys knew what that was, but I knew what it was. It was the beavers letting other beaver know that there were people around. Never seen river otters. Wow. I know they're big. I've only seen beaver in zoos, like with my actual eyes. I've seen muskrat. I've been yelled at by a muskrat. Nothing like being harassed by a rodent. A Rottweiler-sized beaver would greatly intimidate me. But there is a lot of interconnectedness, if that's a word, with these environments. Aw. So maybe a little bit of bloat, I'm guessing. So just because you have that floodplain or that swamp, oh, well then it wouldn't be bloated. I'm trying to listen for kitty cat calls. I would bring him in here, guys, and show you, but I don't want to disturb him. That's scary. That is scary. Let me tell you what is coming up. I have not updated this, so I will be adding 2 more to it because I need to. I don't think Lucky's presence in the house is going to change my schedule. I have to see what my live dates are. I know they can get big. I don't know how big right offhand. Hey, D-Man, are capybaras native to, or not native to, but are they invasive in Florida at all? I know nutria is. Okay. So, just to give you an update, I will figure out what animals. It is Ultraman. And he's there between a black midnight dragon and a very scary looking, almost Pegasus type creature, who I can't remember the name of. So, coming up coming up tomorrow, we have extinct animals. In the afternoon, we are doing extinct animals, and we're going to be looking at tropical birds. No, it's not Pegasus. And the reason it's not Pegasus does not have bat wings. Or dragon wings. There's also the Godzilla figures, and I'm hiding one up there. I don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't remember what it is. I could look it up. We're gonna do probably. I know we're doing a Hawaiian bird in the afternoon, and then in the evening we're gonna do Iranian ibex, and then Tuesday we are doing trivia. We're doing zoo animals, and then in the evening we're going to be doing ethnobotany, weird plants or weird things plants were used for that have nothing to do with zoo animals. I do have a mammoth and a mastodon. In fact, they are there. You can see the mastodon's tusk, and then right there is the mastodon. Yes, there's a giant sloth. I don't have him up there right now, but there is a Irish elk. There's a Similodon, 2 prehistoric armadillos, a woolly rhino, and some other stuff. So weird things that plants were used for that have nothing to do with ethnobotany. That'll be Tuesday. Friday is going to be exploring nature, spiders, copy who, and then caterpillars who mimic. So that is coming up. And then Saturday, I might as well just add Saturday just to be done with it. Saturday, we're going to do and I'm so glad that I actually planned out. No, let me see if, hold on. I have to look at the company that I bought it from. No. It's going to take me a minute, but I'll find it. That is if they still make it. I also have a Phoenix. It's not the Twilight Pegasus, I don't think. Because that's some. They don't make it anymore. Which, that just figures, you know? So, when that fails, no. I think it starts with no, that's not it. No. Hey, Carrie, what was the name of that place, that website that you go to for the figures? Black. It's Areion. What? I have no idea what that is. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I gotcha. So, coming up then at the sort of towards the end of the month on the 28th will be Learn to Care, Hawaiian monk seal, and then New Zealand sea lion. And then later that evening at 6 o'clock, we have Hector's dolphin and Atlantic humpback dolphin. So that's coming up. Our next two videos will be the Swanee Moxkin shell and the Swanee River. I didn't see it. They only had one page of stuff. Capybaras as an invasive. Let me... Oh, wait, that's a video. Hold on. I like the idea. Because I'd like to learn a little bit more about it myself. The black that I saw was a black Pegasus, and that's not what that is. Hold on. Stone Age megafauna. I don't know. They have the armored T-Rex, armored Triceratops, baby Pegasus, Bigfoot, blue Phoenix, Cerberus, Chimera, Gargoyle, Gnome, Halfling, Hydra-Toy, Leviathan, Medusa, Mirhorse, Mothman, Pegasus, Phoenix, Pink Unicorn, Mermaids, Pyrosis, Unicorn, Sea Dragon, Twilight Pegasus, Twilight Unicorn, Unicorn Baby, Unicorn Toy, Werewolf, and Yeti. But those aren't, the Twilight Pegasus has wings. Whereas mine has like dragon wings. They no longer make it. Because I think it would be in that section. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. No. But they used to. I'm good, Atari Organic Garden. Evening here. How are you? I don't usually take things for lives. Just because lives are so busy that, generally speaking, they're pretty much spoken for the next 6 months. But on the other hand, I could do a video on one of those animals. Let's see. I'm smart, but I also rely on research. Is Doctor Who What Where? Is there? I've already done Similodon. How about Cave Hyena? It'll be a bit, but I do eventually get to these. So be patient. Be patient with me. Guys, we are down to just a few more minutes. Just a few more minutes. So upcoming videos are going to be, more than likely, Swanee Moxkin Shell, Karst, Swanee River, and then a week of spiders. No, I was able to find it. The only one I could find is on eBay. Yeah. Um, I liked the short face bear. That one was cool. Did I do? I was fighting AI last night. I think this idea of mine of doing the tour of the exhibits in video form going to be a real hassle, because the images that I was able to get, either there were severe safety issues, like at one point it had the walkway going straight down into the outdoor exhibit for the hippos. And I could just see that being a really bad idea. Oh, so I have Charybdis, I believe. And I have a phoenix, but I can't get to the phoenix right now. And I have this little insane thing. I'm watching my time very closely here. I feel so sorry for the kitten. He's in a new house with new smells. He's really not big enough to play with. My sister says he's about 3 weeks. I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. Anybody have experience raising kittens? Because I sure don't. I think I'm going to fail. Okay, guys, we are at an hour's. I apologize for being late. Yes, he has a little tiny bottle. So, it will be fun. Oh. Yeah, my sister found him. And his siblings who didn't make it in her garage. So evidently mom had gone in and had the babies, and then something happened to her. And now she has a kitten. And all I have to do is keep it alive till she gets back from vacation. Or her son comes back from vacation. So with that, guys, I will see you later. Thanks for coming in, D-Man, Nature Fan, Carrie, everybody else. Love you all. I will be back for a live tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you then. Bye-bye.